Hi there, midweek listeners. It's one of your co-hosts, the delicious Nickalicious. Recently, I went to Traverse City, Michigan, where I sat down with a family friend by the name of Rowdy. Rowdy is very special to our hearts. She's a wonderful lady. She's been all over the United States. She's actually done a little work with the Hells Angels. She's kind of done some favors for them, rolled around with those guys for a while. And she's seen a lot of things. She's done a lot of things, has a lot of cool experiences, has a lot of cool things that's happened in her life, a lot of unfortunate things that's happened in her life. But as we all know, some of those, those negative things kind of form us and help us, including the positive things, kind of help form us to make us who we are today. But Rowdy has a lot of cool stories to share, and I sat down with Rowdy while we were on our little miniature vacation there in Traverse City. What a beautiful state. The Lake Michigan is an absolutely beautiful spot to take your family if you're within a few hour drive of that area. Heck, if you're within a 12-hour drive, I think it would be worth it. But I did sit down with Rowdy for a midweek episode. Like I said, Rowdy, she didn't grow up, but she reached a point in her life where she was surrounded by the biker culture and surrounded by the Hells Angels, and she grew up in a nudist colony as a young girl, so she's got a lot of weird stories that has to do with that. But Rowdy was a very fun interview, and she had a lot of cool things to talk about, and I was honored to have such a sweet lady on the show. And as we covered at the end of the episode, if you don't make it that far, Rowdy is single. So you fellas out there, keep that in mind when you're listening to this old biker chick talk, and she doesn't look like an old biker chick, let's put it that way. So thanks so much for joining us on this midweek episode. This is Stories with an Old Biker Chick. Not really an old biker chick, but stories with a biker chick. Thanks, guys, and we'll see ya on the main episode on Monday evening.
Okay.
I'm up in northern Michigan with a dear friend of the family.
Thank you.
I don't know what you want to go by. You have about 4 or 5 little pet names, and we're going to be talking about some pretty touchy stuff. So I don't know if you want to go by Jay, if you want to go by your name or your nickname.
Let's go by Rowdy.
Okay, Rowdy is a perfect name for what the stuff we're going to be talking about. As many of you know that listen to the Brohio podcast, there's we like to talk to interesting people. We like to talk to people that have traveled and done all kinds of funky shit, wild shit.
Right on.
Funky chickens, people that have fucked chickens.
I haven't done that yet.
Okay, well then we'll end this interview right now. We took a little mini vacation with the family. We've known Rowdy for a long time. She's been a dear friend of the family, but the cool thing about Rowdy is she has the name Rowdy, and that's why she got the nickname, because she's Rowdy. Mm-hmm. And we've talked about on the podcast before. Well, why don't you say hello, Rowdy?
Hello.
Yeah, she's quite bubbly. She's wonderful. You guys are gonna eat her up. You're gonna love her.
Thank you guys.
We talk about on the podcast a lot biker culture and biker gangs and stuff like that. And Rowdy has a storied past that's kind of, that's put her in she's been in the interwebs of the biker gang. I don't know what you did or what you were or your stance around these gangs were. So that's why we're doing this interview. And okay. I was talking to you today, and you said a couple things that kind of perked my ears up. I'm like, she's not just a biker gang story. She's got a long story. Like, her entire life is a story. It's not just a biker gang. It's your life. And,
it is.
And a lot of people say, I'm going to write a book about my life. Mm-hmm. But we're lazy. We're a lazy culture now. We don't have to write books anymore. We can do stuff like this.
Which is awesome.
Yes, it's very awesome. So the first thing that I will tell you, I don't know if you're familiar with in the Dayton, Ohio area, we have the Outlaw motorcycle gang.
Okay.
And I don't know if the Outlaws are nationwide or if they're more of a, Northeast America based gang. But we have a friend of the family that's in the Outlaws motorcycle gang.
Okay.
And I asked him one time, I said, how would you like to do an interview on the podcast? And this guy wouldn't lay a harmful finger on me if it was the last thing he did. But this guy looked like he was ready to rip my fucking guts out at that point. Because he said, legally, I can't. And he's like, it's not even the fact of whether I can't do it, whether my brothers will let me do it. It's like, right now, legally, I can't. Like, I can't.
He's in some shit. He may be in some shit.
Yeah. But he politely declined. He said, never ask me again.
Love you, brother.
Yeah, but thank you. But so it didn't work out. So we don't know a lot of, like, Rob and I, which Rob is my co-host.
Okay. Of course.
We speculate. We speculate a lot about the biker culture and stuff like that, and pretend we know things, and we don't. We have no idea. All we know is what we see on Sons of Anarchy, which some of that's, I would assume, cliche, but then some of it I can imagine, like, it might be a little close to how it really is, but then a lot of it's pretty far fetched and off the base.
Yeah, as far as I know, it is. Okay. It's far fetched. Yeah.
And one thing we would like to preface for this this interview is,
please.
Rowdy said, all this stuff is speculative. It's not necessarily the official word or the official not word. This is not her saying, yes, this is, this is law, or yes, this happened for sure. These could be stories that Rowdy is completely making up that never happened. So,
amen to that.
And we've had to preface some interviews like that before. Like, a person will speak to us and we have to say, hey, this might not be true. This might be true. Right. Because there could be trouble to be had. So let's start at the beginning. And you told me earlier today, without completely giving you away, I would say you're somewhere between your 40s and your 50s. It's probably my guess.
Yep.
And you said at a very young age, you left home completely. And you said at the age of 13, you left home completely. So,
yep, that's correct.
Kind of take me through, I guess, what happened, because I can imagine the path, and I think you have a lot to be proud of, and I think you have a wonderful life for yourself.
Thank you.
But you, like anybody else, we all have choices and decisions that we've made in our life. But those decisions and choices might not be the correct decision or the choice, but they ultimately make up who we are.
Yeah.
So leaving home at 13 maybe isn't necessarily the best choice for some people, but it worked for you. But what led up to that to kind of, I guess, push you out the door, or get you kicked out the door, or made you leave, essentially?
Okay. Well, my parents are, even to this day, still are hippies. And they live very unconventionally.
Right.
Even to this day, they don't have running water.
Oh, really?
Yes.
God
in
damn.
2020, for real. And me and my siblings grew up in a nudist camp.
Okay.
So we grew up in a nudist camp, and my parents were absolutely out of their ever-loving fucking minds.
A nudist colony?
For real.
Well, like, when you say a nudist colony, was this like a casually, like they were naked at night when the kids went to bed, or these fuckers were naked all the time?
Okay, I'm going to say naked from the fucking time you wake up until, like, always.
And you
always naked.
And you had to partake in that.
I did, and I saw lots of naked bodies.
Yeah. Before you should have seen naked bodies.
Way before I should have seen naked bodies.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. And my dad was quite a bit out of his mind. He was out of his ever-loving gourd for quite some time.
Okay.
And so we had a huge falling out one day, and I told him to fuck off.
When you're 13?
Mm-hmm.
Were you homeschooled, or did you go to school?
I actually grew up in overalls, barefoot. No, I'm just joking. So
we read the Bible by the campfire, like
right. We did kumbaya. He made me hold his hand. It was very uncomfortable. No, we had a falling out, and I told him, "Fuck, like kids do. Fuck you, Dad. Blah blah blah. I've had enough. This, that, and the other.
Fuck
thing."
you can go a lot of wrong ways at a nudist colony for sure.
Oh my God, that's hilarious. For real?
Yeah.
So,
For
real.
You told him to fuck off.
I did. And I'd had enough, and so I left, and I came back the next day, and he had burned, he literally had taken everything out of my bedroom and had burned every single thing that I owned in a fire in the side yard.
You're a 13-year-old girl.
Yeah, and told me to stay gone. I said, Holy
do you remember where you went that night when you were, going?
Yeah, I do. I went to a friend's house.
Okay.
Yeah, I went to a friend's house, and then that's it, and I literally have not been home since then.
God.
Yeah.
Now, we're 13 years old.
Yeah. That was back in the 80s.
When I was
dating myself.
When I was 13 years old, I think I was still shitting my pants. Like, I still wore diapers.
I can't imagine the kids today. Like, today it wouldn't work.
Well, this is kind of off topic, but
yeah.
There was a question I saw proposed, and I think I've talked about it on the podcast before, and it says, it's like a hypothetical question. If all adults died off in the world right now, older than the age of 12, how do you think your children would do? Like, and you think about it, and it's one of the saddest things to try and think about. Like, what if 12-year-olds kind of in charge of keeping the world up? God, I think they would, especially with the way kids are now.
But that's the thing. It's completely different. It's night and day from then to now.
Sure.
I believe.
Yeah, I think, even from, I grew up in the 90s and the early 2000s, and kids are a lot different. They're like goddamn potatoes now. You can plug them into the wall and set it and forget it. It's like a microwave meal.
For real. Over, electronics, all of the,
Well, we could spend a whole entire show talking about how electronics are ruining our children. Yeah. And you left when you were 13, and you said, fuck this. So did you, at that point, did you go join the carnival, the circus, or?
Pretty much. No, I hitchhiked with a boyfriend from Florida to Oregon.
So the nudist colony was in Florida?
It was in Florida.
Do you think it's still there?
It is. I've actually checked. Last time I checked was about 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Yep, it's there.
Wow.
Yep.
That's so weird.
Yep.
This shouldn't, I'm sure it's changed as far as allowing your kids to be there since then. I
don't know. That's a very good question.
I bet it's changed for sure.
You'd think it would have to, right?
I don't fucking know. I've never been to a nudist
But nobody
colony.
ever wants to see their dad's dick.
No.
Okay, so let's be real. Like, nobody.
Yeah, I remember. This is a funny story.
Balls,
but
their ass, nothing. Please, no.
My mom used to put me in the shower with my dad, and not to see his dick or anything, but
you did.
Well, this is where the story gets funny.
Okay.
And she would put me in the shower with him, and I always make sexual innuendos towards my dad on the podcast because he listens, and then after he listens to it, he'll talk to me like, "You're a fucking idiot."
Piss him right off? Does it piss him off?
Not really, because we're cut out of the same cloth. He's just not as fucked up. He's weird, but he's not like me weird. But I remember, like, I was getting a little bit older, maybe, I don't know, four-ish, and she put me in the shower, and I remember just standing there. I was staring at his
junk
stuff. It was really hairy, and I'm like,
"Can you shave it?"
No, I was staring. He's like washing his hair. He looked down, and he's like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "You got a really hairy wiener, Dad." You got a really hairy wiener. And he's like, "Brad," called my mom, "Get him the fuck out of here. Get him out of here."
He's staring at me.
Staring at my wiener. Done taking pictures of him. No, I wasn't taking pictures in the shower.
Oh,
I was looking
there it is.
I was looking at the camera stuff over here that was my daughter had laying. There was no picture taking going on in the bathroom.
Audience, do you believe him?
No, they don't.
Okay.
They automatically assume the worst with me. And you hitchhiked from Florida to Oregon.
For real.
So you went from one hippie hotspot to the hottest hippie hotspot in the entire world because you were tired of hippies.
Correct.
Okay.
Does that make any fucking sense?
Well, was this falling out between you and your father? Was it revolving around your boyfriend at the time?
No, it was revolving around him being absolutely out of his mind.
Okay.
Yeah. But I did have a 23-year-old boyfriend.
23?
Yeah, I know.
At 13?
No.
Oh, man.
Bad.
No, I mean, it's...
Yeah, it's bad.
It's kind of like...
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't even know what to say to that. You must have... you were an early bloomer if he was 23 and he was 13.
Yeah.
That's...
bad.
So, did you guys have
when he picked you, when you guys decided he didn't drive, you guys both hitchhiked to Oregon?
We were poor.
Oh, that's fine.
So,
right. I mean, he was dating a fucking 13-year-old.
Exactly.
Guys with money don't date.
And a 13-year-old was dating him.
Guys with money date their own age. That's kind of how that works.
Yeah.
Or they date people that are a lot. Maybe he was just a trailblazer because guys with a lot of money date people that are a lot younger than them.
Yeah, he was a trailblazer.
And he took. Did you guys have a plan when you left Florida?
Oh hell no, there was no plan. No plan at all. We were both. I mean, I was 13.
Yeah.
And in a bad situation, and
sure.
he was, 23-year-old creeper.
In a bad situation.
In a bad situation, homeless. We made a good couple.
Yeah. How long did that last?
About 6 or 7 months. No, we're married to this day, and we have. Yeah.
But it didn't last very long, did it?
No.
Okay, and after you guys split up, then you're just in Oregon.
No, okay, so this is what happened.
Okay.
So my parents, even though they're complete, at the time, I'm going to preface at the time, out of their minds, they had to put me on the Runaway list.
Okay, yeah, you did say that.
Yeah.
So you were on like the FBI wanted list.
No, not that. But I mean, like for children, like okay,
not the most,
chick,
not like you robbed a fucking bank, but like,
right.
Yeah, they're looking for this goddamn.
Yeah.
It's a 13-year-old Big Hooters. Kind of,
exactly.
Yeah.
So they actually picked me up in San Francisco.
We're like on the street, or
yep, they picked me up in the street, and
what were you doing on the streets in San Francisco? Just living?
Yeah, we were. We were moving through, man. We literally were, and we were down like on Market Street instead of the bad areas, and the cops.
Were you doing bad stuff, or you just like?
No, we weren't doing bad stuff. I mean, we smoked pot and drank, and party a little bit and shit like that. But as far we never robbed or stole or did any bullshit like that.
Right.
We were making our way though, and they picked me up and took me to a place called the Huckleberry House, and. Swear to God, I don't know if that's even there to this day or not.
What is the Huckleberry House?
It's like a house for, wayward kids or, kids
in
between or, kids that are fucked up and need some help. So.
Oh, I left home with a 23-year-old.
Yeah.
I need
Can you help me, please?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you were picked up.
Did you just look it up? Holy crap. Look at that.
We have a.
See?
We have a producer for this show. Like big time podcast, they have a producer. There's like a person behind the wall that looks up all the stuff that you're talking about as you go and tells you whether you're right or you're wrong. And we have a producer for this episode. It's my wonderful wife, Stacy.
Thank you, girlfriend.
No, really, you're doing a good job.
Yeah. You just verified it, folks.
She's flipped me off. I don't know why. Whatever. Now, you get picked up because you're a wanted runaway, essentially.
Yep.
Did they take you back to your parents at that point?
No, actually, I broke out of there.
Did they take you to the Huckleberry House?
They took me to the Huckleberry House. It wasn't like it was locked. I wasn't locked in or anything like that.
Okay.
But there was, counselors and shit like that, and they tried to talk to me. And
were you like 14 or 15 at this time, or?
No, I think I was 13.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I was 13. Yeah.
Okay.
And so I got pissed off and got into a little bit of physical altercation, and I've always been a scrapper.
Hence the name Rowdy, I guess.
Yep. And I exited stage right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then from the Huckleberry House, did you stay in San Francisco, or?
Nope. I actually contacted my grandmother in Michigan, and I flew from San Francisco to Michigan and lived with her, and then my life started to get a little bit better because I had a stable home and stuff like that.
Oh, God love her.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, she, and that's where we're at right now in northern Michigan, and it's absolutely gorgeous up here. It's beautiful, and I never knew, from Ohio, I told your friends that were here earlier, we're kind of, it's ingrained into our heads to hate Michigan. And it's kind of
Ohio and Michigan have the rivalry.
The big football, and that really, it consumes people.
It does.
They won't put any blue things in their, their, no, not their butts. What's all your clothing? Like, what's your...
Yeah, your gear.
You're like, they won't wear blue clothes. They just, they're so fucking ate up about it. And they teach their kids, like, you got to hate Michigan. And it's gorgeous here. The whole way here, it's beautiful. It's like God's country.
Thank you.
It's beautiful, yeah.
Yeah, I love it up here.
Well, at what point, and where your story picks up for me, I met you in Phoenix, Arizona.
That's correct.
And at what point did you make it to the south, the desert there, the Southwest?
Well, my parents came back. They moved from Florida to Michigan, and we reconnected. And I was 16.
Okay.
And they were moving to Arizona, and I was living with my grandmother, and I wanted to go. And so I boogied with them to Arizona.
Was the relationship between you and your parents, was it a little strained at that point, or was it kind of like, they were happy to have you back? And
It was both.
Okay.
It was both. Mm-hmm.
Were you do you think you were a bad kid?
No, I don't think I was a bad kid, but I think that I wanted different things, and I wanted them to provide different things that they just weren't capable of doing at the time.
Like making your kid live in a nudist colony.
Correct. Or feeding them.
Yeah.
Running water, electricity, things like that.
And like you said, like to this day, they still don't have running water.
No.
Where do they live in? Like
they live in a rural area.
Okay.
And it is they live up on a bunch of acreage, and they have a really cool bus that they've redone. It's got electricity, but like for real, this is like the real. Okay. Yeah. And so
they live in the bus.
They do.
Yeah, they're really.
They're almost in their 70s. So. Yeah. I mean, they're hardcore.
They're hardcore hippies.
They're hardcore.
Still living it.
Yeah.
Does your dad paint his toenails? Because we know we know a hippie
that paints his toenails.
Yeah,
he
paints his toenails. It's kind of that's cool. It's whatever. He's got a really big foot fetish too. That's for a completely different episode as well. So I met you in Phoenix.
Yep.
And you made the move when you were about 16 to the desert. Mm-hmm. And I love it down there as well.
Yep.
I think you love it as well.
I love it.
But you have you really left a footprint there in Arizona. You had a lot of wild times, and that's why I wanted to dial you up for this episod, so we could kind of get into the wild stuff that was going on there. And I'll tell you what my what I've heard about you.
Okay.
And you can tell me, oh, no, that's not true, or that is true, or shut the fuck up.
Okay. No, of course not.
No, my wife has never had anything but the most perfect things to say about you.
I love your wife.
Yeah, I do.
She's like my kid.
I do as well. She's wonderful.
She really is, man.
And she can throw down in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And she has consensual sex with me at least.
And she's got huge tits.
Yeah, she does.
She does.
She gets to swing in those things, though.
I want to motorboat them.
Yeah, it's fun. Hold on tight. But she, like, you and her dad kind of rolled together for a long time. Yeah. And I haven't talked about her dad very much on the podcast, but we could probably do a 5-episode series dedicated to my father-in-law. He's
he's a character.
He is a very colorful man.
Yep.
And he's done a lot of stuff just like you.
Mm-hmm.
But I think, and that's why your guys' path crossed, because you guys are kind of both doing wild shit.
Yep.
And you just said, hey, you're cool. You're fucking cool too. And then that's how a friendship starts.
35 years.
Yeah. Do what? Okay. Well, that's neither here nor there. That's
totally true though.
Your family tree episode will be a different one.
Can I say just a little something really quick?
Sure,
it's
yeah.
really funny. So
you say anything you want.
Okay, cool.
This is the Rowdy Show.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. So I do not like your wife's mother.
Sure.
And
you're fine to feel that way.
We've had our differences over the years.
But I will say,
yeah,
since I've been around her for 13 years, she's never done anything wrong to me, and she's been nothing but good to me for the most part.
Awesome. Okay, that's awesome. But mine is actually years ago, because I don't know her to this day.
Sure.
So this is speaking years ago. But when she would mess with your wife's dad, or her dad.
Yeah, my father-in-law.
Thank you,
yeah.
Your father-in-law. I would totally do things to mess with her. And you know, don't you? I have a Jeep, and she's got little tiny titties. And
my mother-in-law?
Yeah.
Never noticed, titties. But okay, go ahead.
They were in back of us one night, and I freaking stood up in that Jeep and lifted my shirt up over my head and like showed my tits to your father-in-law for quite some time. And
well, we can call him Little Joe, because that's not even his name, but
no.
We can call him. That's what he makes everyone call him, but that's not his name.
It's true.
But you showed your
Oh, yeah, and she was absolutely fit to be tied, and I think they actually broke up that night.
Really?
Yeah.
All because you showed your tats.
Oh, yeah, she was absolutely just beside herself. And I really didn't mean for that to happen. I was really
like
just
for your
being
tits to come out when you lift your shirt,
No,
because that's
but
what
like
happens
for
when you
them to
lift your
break
shirt.
up.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? I was like, I wanted to kind of like, be an asshole to her because she was being an asshole to him, but
Yeah.
So.
That makes perfect sense. Next time one of your friends is fucking with me, Stacey, I'm gonna whip my tits out. I'm showing everybody. Yeah. That's the only hairy spot on my chest is right between my tits, so it kind of really accents the darkness quite well. And okay, so whenever my wife has told me about you, that you guys kind of ran the streets together, but then I know that he has had a lot of meddling with
the Hells Angels.
I don't even know for sure if it was the Hells Angels.
It was.
Okay, it's the Hells Angels. I didn't know if it was the fucking Desperado. I didn't know who the fuck it was or whoever.
Yep. Used to be the Dirty Dozen. The Dirty Dozen was in Arizona, and then the Hells Angels came in and dissolved the dozen, and the HA took over.
What was it whenever you became
affiliated?
Affiliated, because you can't be. I think from my research, you can't be a female Hells Angel.
No,
you can't be a female plains drifter or whatever biker gangs there are out there. But like I said, what people know about the biker culture is what we see on Sons of Anarchy and what we see on television. They have what they call old ladies, and the old ladies are just like
their wives.
They're essentially a wife or a girlfriend. But then these guys still do bad. They still
have
they're not
extramarital.
They're not held down by an old lady. They still do whatever they want to do and get with whoever they want to. So, what was your affiliation with the Hells Angels?
I actually there was a club affiliated band that we Little Joe would
he was a roadie, right?
He was a roadie.
Okay, so
I was going to say, should I say the name? The Bellinger Brothers.
Are they still around?
They are. Kenny Bellinger's absolutely awesome. He's one of my best buds, and the Bellinger Brothers are awesome.
Are they bikers?
They are.
But are they in the gang?
No, I don't think so. And this is all years ago, so we've all grown up and moved on, and hung our hats up, if you will. But it was a really hilarious, awesome time, and I would MC for the Bellinger Brothers, and I was a friend of a lot of the wives and brothers.
Okay.
And I'd never, mess with their husbands or
right.
never.
When you say you were friends with the brothers, you mean these are the guys inside the Hells Angels.
Yeah.
So whenever you first become affiliated with the Hells Angels, was it the Dirty Dozen or were they the Hells Angels at that point?
They were the HA.
Okay.
Yep.
And I would guess these concerts or these bands, when you would MC for these shows, were these in the clubhouses or where were these at?
Several different places, but one of the biggest ones was Bellinger Brothers actually got quite big, and they opened up for Molly Hatchet, and they opened up for a couple of really big venues where there 4,000 or 5,000 people. And
okay, cool.
Yes, they did. They used to rock out, man.
Yeah.
What is it? Oh yeah, State Fair. There were several different things that they did for a long time, and Kenny's actually still in. He's still in the music business to this day.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And you met Little Joe because he was a roadie.
Yep.
And then you were you don't just show up and say, I'm your fucking MC tonight for this Hells Angels band.
No.
There's something that had to get the fuck out of my way. And you're like, this goes back to me showing my tits.
Okay, now I'm known for that, people. I love showing my titties, even to this day.
Okay.
Just saying.
I'm the same way. I told you, to let everyone see the darkness.
I saw him today.
Yeah. So what led up to you getting, affiliated with whoever got you into the position that you were in?
Little Joe.
Oh, really? So you knew him before?
Yeah.
How did you meet him?
Actually, we have a very good friend, Pam. And so Pam introduced me to Little Joe, and she's been a long-term friend. She actually has known Little Joe longer than I have.
Okay.
Yeah, they did.
And this is where it starts to get juicy because, I've never heard you tell your story before, but I think that from just being around you and knowing like people kind of like hearing her tell little stories here and there and hearing like her ask her dad things and then her dad will just be like, and then he'll walk away and you won't answer the fucking question. I'm like, yeah, they've definitely done some wild shit.
Mm-hmm.
I would imagine that there is a spot in the Hells Angels where you would need, because like I said before, they're all men, the people in the gang, and there's no females in the gang. They're just like, but there comes times where the Hells Angels need rough and tough, gruff bitches that will throw some shit around and fuck some shit up or fuck some other females up.
Yeah, I
guess, and it's like, and in the motorcycle shows, Sons of Anarchy, that stuff, the men will rough up females from what you see on the big screen, but I would think it would be easier to have like a pit bull like yourself to go do, I guess,
what needs to be done,
whatever you need to be done. Mm-hmm. And did they ever task you with stuff like that?
I have been tasked with a few things.
Okay. What did you, I would imagine when you're at doing these MC events and stuff like that shit would go down, shit would break out, there'd be fights and you just like, you would just get your ass in it? And
no, I'd never, not anything with the brothers, never get in with anything like that. So if the guys start fighting, never would a girl get involved.
Did the brothers fight very much
Oh yeah.
Like Hells Angels versus Hells Angels?
Oh yeah. And really? One of the worst fights I've ever seen in my life actually was at a bar in Phoenix.
Okay.
And it's the club affiliated bar.
Yeah.
And it was terrible, man. Like, I thought he killed the guy. I thought he literally pushed his nose completely up into his forehead. It was one of the worst things I've ever seen in my life.
It was just brothers fighting one another.
Oh, yeah. Who knows over what? I have no idea. Right. I didn't even know the guys that were fighting. Yeah. But let me tell you something. Holy shit.
Just a huge scrum broke out.
Yeah.
That shit's scary.
And they make you hug it out afterwards, too, dude.
Oh, really?
Fuck yeah, you hug that shit out.
When me and my little brother would fight when we were little, my dad would make us stand in a bucket in the front yard and hug each other.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Right on.
Serious.
Yeah.
But we weren't Hells Angels. We were just little shitheads.
Yeah. Hey, he's teaching you right, though.
Yeah.
You work that shit out.
And they probably, I guess, do you remember the first time that, how closely affiliated were you with, like, I guess, people with rank inside the gang?
Mm-hmm. I had knowledge.
Okay. And what point did
Yep.
We don't have to say any names. We don't want to say any names because I don't want to get fucking killed.
Yeah.
For starters. No, just by
me
the
neither.
Hells Angels.
Yeah.
So at what point did they approach you and say, "Hey, we might have something for you to do, or we need you to do a favor for us"?
They knew that I was open to what they needed.
Okay.
And so there were times where I would be called if, let's just say, hypothetical situation.
Yeah.
There is just a piece of shit that's in a bar getting drunk and, he's done some horrible things to a kid or whatever he's done. And I may go in and, have a couple drinks with him, ask him to go out to the car with me and, walk away.
Okay. So this is not at all what I was, and you might have been doing the stuff I thought you were thinking. I was thinking like, okay, there's, a female that owes the money club. And
I've taxed. I've done some taxing.
Okay, but
I've moved girls out of houses, guys that have moved girls into their houses and that they won't leave and like stuff. I've done shit like that.
Okay. And by like doing taxes, you mean like kicking the fucking door in and dragging people out by their hair?
I have.
Okay, maybe.
And that, maybe.
Whenever, and like we said, this is a long time ago, and this is all hypothetical.
Yep.
Just to say that one more time, but there would oftentimes be situations where, like you said, you'd have men at the bar that had done horrible things, and then here you come along, bright, bubbly, beautiful blonde hair, and you just say, "Hey, buddy, let's." And you start to get fresh with them, and then you have to take him out to the car, and
then I don't want to be fresh anymore. I just changed my mind.
What? So Would you bite their dick off?
No, I wouldn't do anything. I'd just get them to the car
so they could get fucked up.
so they could get fucked up.
Oh, okay, so you just get them outside.
Yeah.
So
somebody could
so the
talk
angels,
to them.
So the HAs could
Talk to them.
Yeah, talk to them, fuck them up.
They are very good at talking.
Yeah, and whenever you say talking, and I would imagine like a talk from 8 Rough and Tough Hell's Angels.
Yeah.
There's probably are people that have been talked to, but more than often than not, they're probably getting their fucking guts stomped in.
They probably are.
Yeah.
But I don't know that.
It's kind of like, this is all stuff we can look up on the internet as well. Some of the stuff, but there's a lot of stuff that has to be left to the imagination.
Yep.
And how often was this happening where you'd have to like sway men out to the...
That's actually only happened a couple times.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Were you good at it?
I think I'm pretty good at everything. Is that bad to say?
No,
I do.
It is what it is. Now, did you always have it pretty easy with the brothers, or were there ever guys that didn't like you, or?
Never. I never had any problems with them at all, ever.
Really?
No. And in fact, contrary to a lot, and that stuff absolutely happened, of course, too, but they did a lot of good. A lot of stuff for children.
That's one thing I like to emphasize.
Do a lot of drives. Yeah.
When we talk about motorcycle gangs, these guys go out of their way
to help
the community, and they do stuff to help the community. And a lot of times, I like to say they're like Dexter. They're doing bad things to bad people.
Completely agree.
But then oftentimes
they get a bad rap.
Part of that culture and part of making money is sometimes you gotta do bad shit, and not necessarily, I guess it's all speculation. But most of the perception for me is they do good things for the community.
They do.
But we want
and they protect children. Yeah, but we want to talk about the good, juicy stuff.
Exactly. Whatever. And you said you didn't ever have any problems with anybody.
No.
Did you ever have any problems with? I guess the old ladies.
I have.
Did they have problems with you?
They did.
And did you have to make it clear that you kind of weren't a threat, or how was that handled?
At times, it would happen that way. Other times,
or did you just check the shit out of them?
There was one time I was actually sleeping on a couch of a brother.
Okay.
I have nothing to do with them. Never fucked around with any of these guys. Never did anything like that. I had respect. I had respect for their old ladies and all of that. I kept my in my lane.
Yeah.
And but I was actually passed out on the couch, and she fucking ripped me off that couch by my hair, and we were in it.
Oh, that's not a good time to fight.
No.
Because when I first wake up, I have morning wood.
No. Oh yeah, that's bad. You might break it.
No, I don't think I would do that. I would hide it for a little bit. I'd hide it till it went away, and then I'd fight. Just like, hey, man, can we fight after I'm done with this boner?
Please. Give me just a second.
My brother used to come home. When my brother came home from college, he would come in the middle of the night drunk. He was like 22, 23, and I was like 13, 14, whatever. Yeah. And he would come home from the bar in the middle of the night, and he would wake me up, just like trying to wrestle me. And I would wake up, and then I would get morning wood, and I'm like, leave me the fuck alone. And then one time he's like, you want to smell my breath? And he's like wrestling on top of me. I'm like, I got a fucking boner, dude. Stop. Get the fuck. And he's like, oh my God. And he got off, but it worked.
I touched it.
So now sometimes when we wrestle around, we're like, he's 40 now, and
you wrestle with your brother, and he's 40.
Yeah,
on the ground.
Yeah, we still. Yeah,
you guys put each other in like chokeholds and stuff.
Fuck yeah! But then, like, you'll hear me say, "I got a boner," and he's like, "Shut the fuck up."
That's it. Is that the safe word?
Yeah, that's our safe word. Yeah. It's our safe word when we were younger too. The lights just turned on in the camper. I don't know what our kids are doing, so I don't know what's going on there. Was there money to be made by you for like when you would take a girl out to the park? Or
no.
How are you compensated? Just like free drinks and
favors,
the ability to hang out? Did you have to have many favors called in?
No, but I still have favors this day that I could call in.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And that's good though.
Yeah.
But you gotta. The thing is, like you said, those guys are getting older.
Yeah.
You gotta call that shit in before it's a different generation. Before these.
They're probably half dead. Seriously.
Yeah, before they're like 70 years old, and you're like, all right, I need a car blown up. And you're like, God damn it, I fucking rode a motorcycle.
I can blow that car up by myself.
You don't need some. Okay, there was a bug on the ceiling inside the trailer.
These are scary things.
Yeah, they really are. Do you ever... I want you to take me back to your, I guess, a moment. There had to have been moments throughout your time around the Hells Angel where you felt like, you know what, I might fucking lose my life right now. There might, like, if there was ever a situation where you said, you know, I might fucking die right now. Because I know there's been situations in my life where, working in prison and the police department and private security. Honestly, the closest I've come to death is private security. Well, prison maybe. There's a couple times in prison where I'm like, I might fucking die tonight.
Yeah.
But was there ever a situation where you felt like you might not escape the moment alive?
Yeah, there actually was.
Can you talk about it at all?
It was her dad and I.
Yeah.
And a few other people, and there was a bad situation with somebody that, pulled a gun.
Yeah.
And then other guns are pulled.
Okay.
And
that's tense.
Very tense.
Like
very
guns,
scary.
Like guns pointing at one another?
Like guns pointing at one another. Thank God it...
Did you show your tits?
Oh, my God. Now, that would have defused this damn situation. Why would I have not done that?
Yeah. That's what she does when I'm mad at her.
See?
She just, yeah.
That would have been the perfect...
She just whips them out.
Damn.
I'm happy.
Yeah.
But you're there and they're pointing guns at one another.
No, I was terrified. We were both terrified.
Was it a party? Was it a...
No, we were
show?
actually in a home. We were in somebody's home, and we had gone over there to help out a situation.
Okay.
And...
No, that's fine.
And it turned south.
Okay.
Yep.
Was it another motorcycle gang or was it a...
No, it was not another motorcycle gang. It was a non-member.
Okay.
And it was scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did anybody die that night?
No.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Anytime, any night that everybody lives, that's a good fucking night.
I have been in a car when a shot's been fired before, and I thought that, I lost my hearing. It was absolutely unbelievable.
Fired at you or fired from the car?
From the car. And I was like, holy, like in the car, from the car, out the window.
Was it a gunfire or was that like a drive-by shooting?
No drive-by, no nothing like that. He was just being a complete dickhead, drunk off his ass, window down, freaking fired out the window. It was incredible.
Yeah. That's definitely an asshole for you, right?
Definitely an asshole.
Man. So I guess that is can you recall any other, was that pretty much was that an every weekend type thing?
We used to party pretty hard, and we used to partake in illegal drugs.
What are we talking, what was the drug of cocaine?
Cocaine was good. My drug of choice was crystal.
Okay. Well, and I don't know a lot about drugs.
Yeah.
And I, unfortunately, I just know that drugs are bad and you shouldn't do them. But crystal, what's the difference between crystal meth and cocaine? Like, as far as what it does to you?
Well, crystal, I think gives you a way better high. It's way longer, and it's cleaner.
What do you mean cleaner?
I knew somebody that made it.
Made good stuff.
Made
the Walter White shit.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And I don't know. I always like crystal better than coke. But.
Okay. And coke. I've heard that cocaine they call it the weekend drug because you can do it over a weekend.
Yeah.
And you're
able to go to sleep that night.
You're kind of fine. Whereas was crystal was it addictive?
Yeah, I was addicted. I'd say for a couple of years.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and I think the longest I ever went without sleep, and I think was literally 6 days, like for real, 6
shit,
days.
You went 6 days without sleeping. Fuck.
Yeah.
God damn.
For real.
What does it, so I think you have to smoke it, right?
I started out taking it in pill form, then I went to nose, then I went to the glass dick.
Yeah. And does it speed you up?
Oh, yeah, dude.
And it just makes you kind of feel like euphoric.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah.
I'd never do it now, but I loved it.
Yeah. And that's what even people, because I've talked to a lot of recovering addicts before, and I'm happy that you have, like I told you before, you have a lot to be proud of.
Thank you.
And you have a wonderful life for yourself.
Thank you.
And you've matured and you've grown out of that.
Yeah. Thank God.
Right. But I've talked to people that, have escaped addiction and they don't the funny thing is, when they talk about whatever they were addicted to, they don't speak. They speak like it's an old family member that they love. Like, man, that was good shit.
Right.
Like, it was awesome. It was incredible. They're never like, man, that shit almost ruined my life, or that stuff was nasty. They're just like, that was good stuff. And like, I guess that kind of helps you with coming to, getting past that to say, like, that's good stuff, but life is, my life is better than that stuff to get past that. So that's kind of one thing that I've noticed when I speak to people that have recovered from, whatever it is, just like beer or alcohol, or whether it's cocaine or whatever it is. They say, I love smoking cigarettes. I love having a pot of coffee and smoking 5 cigarettes, but
can I spark up?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And so whenever you guys was most of these, when you would get in these situations where guns were getting pulled on one another, was it mostly drug related shit whenever this stuff would go down?
No, it really wasn't drug related. It was more related to bad people doing really bad things.
Okay.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite things is when I watch the Sons of Anarchy is when they have to just go you have to go get somebody. They got to go fuck them up.
That's exactly right.
What kind of shit would people have to do in order for the Hells Angels to have to fuck them up, I guess?
Well, I think that if you know somebody that knows somebody, and let's say, this guy ripped somebody off for $20,000.
Right.
Just a piece of shit guy, ripped the guy off for $20,000, and he says, hey, I'm fucking done, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, you may have to call on somebody like what Sons of Anarchy do and go in there and say, that's not the right thing to do. You better come up with the cash.
Have you seen people get fucked up over $20 before?
Not over $20, but I have seen people get fucked up. Yes, I have.
When I worked in the prison, people used to get fucked up for a pack of ramen noodles.
See?
They would fuck each other up over some ramen noodles.
Is that crazy or what, man?
Yeah, I'm just like, I'll go home and eat that shit. Like,
fucking 10 cents a pack.
But not in there, not in the joint. It's not. That's currency.
Yeah.
But that's a whole different episode as well.
Yeah.
Whenever you did you ever see any, I guess, God, I don't even know how to ask this, fucked up ways that they would, like, I'm really into the torturing shit. Like, I see them.
I've never seen anybody torture anybody. I wasn't that high up in it, but
like you were around though. So
I was around.
Just because, like I said, you don't have to make up something that you didn't experience.
Sure.
Like, I just wanted you to have an interesting life, and I wanted to know about the travel. So you don't have to pretend you know if you don't know. But I think that one of my favorite scenes, and we just watched it the other day, is whenever they see a guy out that has the Sons of Anarchy tattoo on his back long after he should have had it removed from his back, and they took a fucking torch and they burned it off of his back.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I know. And I was thinking, like, if they really, I would imagine stuff like that really happens.
I've actually seen somebody branded
with
branding iron.
That, I guess that would have been an unbranding is what this guy went through. They took a torch and burned his back off, essentially. But you've seen a guy branded before.
I have.
Did
he
pass
cried,
out?
he puked,
Oh, really?
Oh yeah,
Where they brand him at?
They branded him on his arm.
Okay, yeah. That would fucking hurt, but I guess
it was huge. The fucking brand was like the size of this box.
Yeah.
Like enormous.
Was it a Hell's Angels, like a...
No. Shit, I can't remember what
it was. Like his mom's initials or something?
Oh, my God. I love my mom. Oh, my God. That's funny.
Yeah.
No, I can't remember what it was now.
It was probably something stupid. Yeah. I know a lot of fraternities and stuff that still fucking brand each other.
Do they really?
Yeah, it's just, oh, God, I don't... That's
torture.
It's torture.
That is torture.
It is. Do you... At what point in your life did you say, all right, this lifestyle's fun, but it's time to move past this and kind of go do my own thing?
Well, I had a surveillance officer following me. My tires were being marked.
Oh, really?
And I was, and I'd be pulled over, and I was getting fucked with by the law.
Do you know what branch of the law? Like, was it local law enforcement, or are we talking federal?
No, it was local.
Yeah.
Local. And, I was like, that's it. I'm out. This is not my lifestyle. I'm not doing, I'm done. So I boogied. I got the fuck out.
Do you know why they were following you?
Yeah, because I had some knowledge.
Okay. Just like this stuff, I guess the knowledge you had at the time.
I don't remember anything now, though.
No, you definitely don't remember anything now. Did what the knowledge they were looking for, did it ever pan out to where they could prosecute people?
No.
Okay.
No.
Wow, that's good.
Yeah, it's very good.
And that's one of the biggest things, even.
Yeah, they were barking up the wrong tree.
Yeah, for sure.
They were.
You were just kind of like a casual bystander.
Yeah, that's all I was. I wasn't really like totally, high ranking or high end anything. I knew some people, and I knew some things, and I don't even know if they knew that. In all honesty.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it was getting pretty intense, and I said that that's it.
How many people, like those big parties that you would MC for? How many brothers would be at a party like that?
Oh, Jesus. It depends on how, I don't know, 500.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a wild fucking time, I can imagine.
Yeah, we would have some good desert parties, too. I would have little Joe and a few close friends.
Sure.
I lived in an apartment, and it's 3 o'clock in the morning. You could hear them coming down the road. They're coming to get me.
Yeah.
And I'd go downstairs and freaking hop on a bike, and we'd go out to the desert and party for freaking 2 days.
2 days. Or if you had some really good shit, you could go for 6 days.
Correct. That's exactly correct. That was a good week.
Yeah. One of I know a guy that does body work,
mm-hmm.
and he does meth still to this day.
Mm-hmm.
But that motherfucker can get more shit done in 3 days than an entire army can get done in a fucking month.
I'm telling you what, it will. Sometimes it opens your mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like I said,
if you're doing the good shit, if you're doing the bunk, man, it's bunk.
The bunk is the bad crystal.
Bad crystal, bad meth, bad crack.
Where was crystal? Is that something that would be? I guess the drug, running drugs, is that something that's lucrative for biker gangs in your opinion?
I would say for sure.
So what they do show on the screen is probably right about, like, I would say drugs and guns for sure, running that shit.
Yep.
Good. I think there's do those guys, most of those guys, do they have jobs? Do they have day jobs or? No,
not the real ones. You've got the weekend warriors, but the hardcore biker guys, those are the ones that keep everything going. Those are the ones that set stuff up. Those are the ones that take calls and facilitate meetings or whatever is going,
And so they're wholeheartedly financially supported by the club.
That's right.
Wow.
They're full in.
Do you think you think it's a good lifestyle, or are they kind of live in bare bones?
It depends on your rank.
Okay.
And where you are, what your stance is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So the guys, I guess.
I mean, you got the bottom feeders, of course, and like all of that. Then those are the guys that are normally the assholes. Those are the guys, the ones that are just brought in and stuff like that, just think they're badasses and like all that stuff. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Now, all the guys that I've met in my travels, whether it be in prison, because I met some biker guys in prison, and then through various travels in my life, I've met people in biker gangs. They're all really fucking killer dudes. They're awesome. Mm-hmm. They're awesome guys, and but they have a code.
Yeah, they do have a code.
Have a fucking code.
Yes, they do.
And you can tell those guys that are about it. They will not break the fucking code. They don't want to talk to you about
blood brothers.
They don't want to talk to you about who they are. Why? I'm like, why is your name Charmin?
Yeah. Yeah.
None of your goddamn business. Mm-hmm. And it's not because he's soft. I'll tell you that.
No.
Maybe it's because he wipes people's asses, but I don't know why his name is Charmin. Yeah. How did you get the nickname Rowdy?
Little Joe nicknamed me Rowdy because I kicked a guy's ass in a bar.
You kicked a guy's ass?
I did.
Why?
I kicked a guy's ass. He was a little jerk off, and he pissed me right the fuck off, and I kicked his ass. I did. He pissed me.
Were you drunk?
Oh, yeah. I was drunk. We were all drunk, but he was a little jerk.
What drink just so I know?
Vodka. I don't drink it anymore at all.
Oh, really?
No. Vodka, I will get very ornery.
All right.
Yep.
For my wife, I think it's whiskey and beer.
Yeah.
She drinks beer, apparently.
Does it? Yeah, does it for you too? Yeah.
It's mean when she drinks beer.
Yeah. No, I haven't drank vodka in a long, long time because of that.
I think we should do it as a social experiment, just to give you some, just to see what happens. Now, do you? Is there anything about those times that you maybe regret as far as hanging out with those guys or kind of running with that club?
Of course.
Yeah. Things you. I don't know. I guess obviously the drug aspect of it.
Yeah.
Is that where you got introduced to those type of drugs?
Actually, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I smoke pot, okay, like that type of drugs, but I've dropped acid, I did coke and stuff like that.
The stories I hear from acid are tremendous stories. Well, from acid mushrooms. When I hear people talk about acid mushrooms,
cleaners.
What did you say?
Mescaline cleaners.
What are those?
It's like acid. It's like acid and mushrooms. It's hallucinogenic and it'll fuck you up.
Yeah.
Awesome though. I mean, you'll laugh so hard.
Do you recall one of our last episodes was hallucinogenics, getting high and tripping balls, where we took listener stories from their most trippy trips of all trips.
Yeah.
Do you remember your worst trip?
Oh yeah, and I was long out of the. I was never in the Hells Angels, so I can't say it that way. I was long past that.
Yeah, from hanging out with them.
Sure. And all of that. And actually, her dad was here in Michigan with me years ago.
Put that microphone closer for me.
Okay, sorry.
It's all right. It's all right.
Her dad was in Michigan with me years ago, and he had a bladder acid that he had in his wallet for like 6 years. Or some shit like that.
Her
like
dad?
Yes, her dad. And he's like, hey, you want to split this hit of acid with me? I'm like, well, sure, let's do it.
You didn't say, how long has that been in your fucking wallet?
No, I should have. Tripped my balls off, man. So I had an anxiety attack.
Oh, really?
Tripping on acid. And I like begged him to take me to the hospital. And he's like, fuck you. I ain't take you to the hospital.
Man.
No.
Her dad completely strikes me as the guy that would just be like, you're fine.
Go lay down. Look at the owl.
Now, were you melting? Were you seeing tigers? Like, what the fuck was going on? Do you remember?
It was all that.
Yeah.
It was bad. And so I have not touched it since then. And that was, Jesus, 19... Yeah, something like that. Yeah, 1999. Something. Yeah.
Wow, that's a long time ago.
A long time ago, yeah.
There was one guy that wrote in that sent us a story. He said that he was at a gas station and they did, I forget what drug they did, but it kind of hit him when he was in the gas station.
It crack up.
Well, he said that everybody in the gas station turned into his brother. And he was there at the gas station with his brother. And he didn't know who he had to leave with because everybody in the fucking gas station turned into his brother.
Okay, no, that makes me laugh.
So he's like thinking to himself, where the fuck am I? Which fucking brother am I going to go with? And he can't figure out how to escape the gas station because he doesn't know which brother to ask to take him home.
Hilarious.
But then he sees one of his brothers, because there's multiple brothers that are all the same brother.
Yeah.
And that brother was holding a Red Bull. And he thought to himself, my fucking brother loves Red Bull.
He must be the right one.
I'm going to go with that fucking guy. And he got home or wherever he was going. It's such a fun story.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so he made it. That was the dead giveaway.
That is a dead giveaway.
Now, do you have any? I solicited you for a lot of questions here.
Okay.
Do you have any wild fucking stories that I haven't really,
Can I tell a story about her dad?
Yeah. Believe there's not. Yeah. Fucking go ahead.
Okay, I got to do this.
Okay.
So they call him Little Joe for a reason because he used to be a little motherfucking badass.
Really?
Yeah, for real.
Right now, he's probably 60 pounds soaking wet with rain boots full of water.
No, but he will jump on you and bite your ear off.
Yeah, he looks like he's bit a lot of shit. For sure.
And he literally did jump on somebody and bite his ear off.
Oh, really?
Yeah, long before. It was one of the funniest, craziest, scariest things I've ever seen. And I still, to this day, it cracks me up. Like, this guy was being a jerk in the bar, and he called Little Joe out on whatever he called him out on, and Little Joe freaking, like, went after him and literally
Wow.
spider monkeyed his head. Yeah, we know that version, but yeah, he used to be, yeah.
See, I've never really talked to him about this stuff before. He's kind of,
Yeah.
I'm sure he would probably be a good interview as well.
Yeah.
He's gone through a lot of shit and done some stuff. But he bit somebody's fucking ear off?
Well, he not his whole ear, but yeah, he definitely bit his ear, dude. Before the whole is it whole? Yeah, Mike Tyson whole, yeah.
And this is and from that night on, he was known as Little Joe.
He was known as Little Joe before that, but he would be. They would call on him too for shit like that because let me tell you something. I mean, he'd throw down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was always down to.
And he didn't give a fuck. I mean, it was
Like I asked you how they compensated you for these favors, but I know how they compensated her dad.
Yes, you do.
For these favors. He probably was more than happy to oblige to take care of him.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think whenever my father-in-law, Little Joe, met my mother-in-law, did you just think like, this is never going to fucking work in a million years?
Yeah.
from the rip.
Well, at first they really did love each other.
Sure.
But then, it went.
She used to love me at first too, but
she's giving him a really bad look, you guys. She is.
She loves me very much. She's very good to me. This morning, I was laying there, and I was just like, I'm never going to eat again. I was so sad. And then she started making sausage links and egg sandwiches.
And you're happy.
And then she's like, she didn't have any butter, so I used mayonnaise to grill your bread. And I was like, I'm
in love with you.
I'm going to go in my pants. I'm going to go. Yeah. That's really embarrassing when she's trying to solicit me for sex, and I'm like,
food.
I can't. I don't know if I'd be like, I can't. Already went. Like, already went. So
I need a minute.
Yeah, you're gonna give me 20 minutes. That's my favorite. She's like, I'm gonna wake you up in 20 minutes. And I'm like a roller. Like, no, you're fucking not.
Do you wake him up, Stace? No.
He lets me sleep. Well, that's
you guys are in the meat and bones of marriage now. That's a good thing.
Yeah. Well, yeah. How long? Almost 10 years.
That's a long time, you guys.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
Yeah, it's been a wonderful ride.
Yeah.
Fun ride. So is there, in closing, is there any other tremendous killer shit you want to talk about that you didn't maybe necessarily get to here?
I did that all the time. Yeah, I did do that.
Well, that's pretty standard stuff.
Yeah, that's pretty standard stuff. I like that. I was a nudist. But,
were you ever solicited to become an old lady in the gang? Like, did you ever?
Oh yeah, yeah. There were several guys that were interested, but I was not interested in that position at all.
Why?
Because I think that a lot of them were shitty to their women.
For sure,
yeah.
I think that's
and
kind
I
of
would never be disrespected like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was never about that.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like whenever you get into that position, it's kind of know your role and shut your fucking mouth.
Yeah.
Whereas you being an outside
I'm like,
bystander,
I'm gonna shut your fucking mouth for you.
You can kind of speak for yourself.
Yeah. What? Oh yeah. Yeah. I was a scrapper. I really was a scrapper for a long time. Yeah. And here lately, like somebody pissed me off the other day, and I felt a little bit of that rage come up. And I was thinking, woman, I will fucking pull you out of that car so goddamn fast.
If you would have got arrested, we couldn't have came here. It would have been all bad.
I know, that's right, exactly.
Thanks for holding back on that one.
Yes.
And now, whenever you think back to those times, whenever you were rolling around with those guys, what would you do differently? Would you have not? You could go back and hit the restart button. Would you have never involved yourself there, or would you do it all over again?
I'd do it all over again.
Really?
It's honestly one of the best times of my entire life.
Really?
Yeah. I really had like the time of my life.
Yeah. Why is everyone cheering? Is that the dodgeball? I hear a lot of cheering. We're like a lakeside resort right now, and there's cheering, and it's like fucking midnight. I don't know why there's people.
We're happy here. We're
cheering.
happy.
Yeah, I guess.
It's the butthole tree.
Well, and earlier today, I keep on hearing stuff about a fucking butthole tree at this resort, and I'm thinking,
what the fuck is is this?
even my kids, who, like, for the most part, my wife does a good job of wrangling them in and not letting them involve, just not letting them hear my shit.
Yeah.
Like, hear the way I am.
Right.
She does a good job of not letting them delve. She makes sure they're little girls.
Yes.
And my kids are coming with me. She's like, they're like, do you know there's a butthole tree? I'm like, there's a what? I said, there's a butthole tree.
There really is.
And I'm like, what the fuck is a butthole tree? And then my middlest one, she's like, it's a tree and it has a butthole.
That explains it,
And
Dad.
I said, all right, I got to get the fuck out of here. And then a little later, they come to me and they say, Daddy, you want to go see the butthole tree? And I'm thinking, what have I got to fucking lose
That's
at this point?
right.
So we hop on the golf cart, and the guy across the street takes us to the butthole tree.
Yeah.
And he's like got a really, really sarcastic sense of humor. He's
Yeah, he
a
does.
really funny guy. Super funny dude.
He is.
And he stops the golf cart about, I don't know, 30 seconds away from this butthole tree. And we're just sitting in the middle of the woods. And I'm thinking, and I don't know this guy that well.
Right.
And I'm thinking, this guy's going to fucking kill me and my kids. Right here in the middle of the woods. We're sitting next to a bulldozer. He's going to bury our bodies in this shit field right here. And he just goes, he takes a long, deep breath. And then he goes, takes another one. And I'm like, what the fuck is he doing? He's like, and then my Millis daughter, she speaks up. She's like, what are you doing? He's like, you gotta smell for it. You gotta smell for the butthole tree. You gotta see if you can find it with your nose.
Did he really?
Yes. He
Oh
did.
my God.
I'm thinking, what the fuck am I getting myself?
I know.
Then we pull up to this thing, and then my kids are like, they're like, do you see it? And I say, no, I don't. I honestly don't see it. I'm looking at the wrong part of the tree. And there's like a V at the top of the tree. And my daughter's like, no, right there. And I look down, and sure as shit, there is a fucking butthole in this tree.
There is.
And then he asked, he's like, you see it? And I told him, I was like, I've never, I don't think I've officially seen a butthole before, but I think that's what it looks like. And then we started to drive away, and my oldest daughter, she's like, what'd you think, Daddy? I said, look pretty tight to me. That was the funniest
Did
thing.
she crack up?
She thought that was the funniest thing in the world. Speaking of our daughters, there's another one hanging out of the trailer. Is there another bug? Okay. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning into this special episode of, we're going to call it Rowdy Times with Rowdy.
Thank you.
A well-traveled babe that's been all over the world, done a lot of cool stuff. And she's so wonderfully welcomed us into her home here in northern Michigan. And I can't say enough about, the time we've had. And I hope that you enjoyed talking to me.
I did.
I'm sorry you lived in a nudist colony growing up as a young child.
Yeah.
I'm sorry that, but life is coming full circle now, and I think that what you've conveyed to me is you're gonna go take care of your parents while they move into the twilight of their life, which says a lot about a person and their character. And even though that they might not have put you in the perfect situation growing up, you're gonna try and create the perfect situation for them as they kind of sail into the sunset. That says a lot about you. So
thank you.
But that's already stuff I've already known.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And I love you so much.
I love you too.
And thank you for talking to me. Everyone's going to love you and think you're perfect.
Thank you.
And for those of you listening, I think she's single.
I am single.
Okay.
Gentlemen, give a ring.
There is room for a ring. So she's...
No ring. No ring. But you can call.
Oh, okay.
Give a ring like call. No ring. No ring.
I thought you meant like a wedding, like put a fucking ring on it.
Oh, fuck that. No way.
So if you would like to wrangle with Rowdy,
come on.
Just, hit us up, rohiopodcast@gmail.com. I will, you're going to be vetted and you're going to be background checked before I pass you along to this wonderful lady. We're not going to just
thank you guys. I
throw
love
you
guys so much.
Throw you to the wolves.
Thank you.
But that's what all this was a giant dating thing. We were just trying to find you a nice man.
Yeah.
But we have the fucking alien guy that's in Traverse City that was abducted by aliens. I think he's single too. He flew on a goddamn space jet in Mars 20 years ago. He's a cargo officer. I'm sure there's no emotional baggage there right now. He was part of a sex slave ring whenever he was young. Yeah, no emotional baggage. Well, you guys would be great together. You lived in a fucking nudist colony until
set us up.
He was an Epstein sex slave. You have no idea.
Well,
all right.
sex slave to me says good sex.
Well, not when you're like a kid, not when you're fucking 12. No.
No, that's true. That's definitely
Right.
fucking true.
All right. Well, thanks for listening, guys. This is Rowdy and Nickalicious.
Thank you.
Delicious
Thank you,
Nickalicious.
guys.
And our producer, Stacy.
Love you, Stace.
Thank you, Stacy.
Love you, Nick.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Okay, bye.